That's too complicated. There's not that many people like that. What am I going to go on WhatsApp or on Facebook and try to find a person like this? Probably, but I don't want to do that. Let's skip that. We don't want to do that. So I can live somewhere in Colombia, but not here in Medellin. There's no way. The energy's too dark here. I walk around here and there's this aggression. There's this darkness you feel with the people. Read the comments for almost any restaurant, and the comments from Colombians. They're writing in Spanish. Oh, the service was terrible. This person seems like they hate their job. That's a normal review I'm reading about restaurants here. Why they hate their job? They should hate their job. But I don't want to go to a restaurant where I feel like people are hating their job, because I want to have confidence. I want to trust the person that's serving me my food. I think restaurants need to be done with get out of here with restaurants. It's the goofiest shit of all time. I think there's a byproduct of industry that was male dominated, like mining for gold and oil rigging and shit like that, where there's no women working here, so we have to have restaurants so these fucking goofball men don't know how to fucking make their own food. So anyways, what do we want to talk about now? Oh, we're going 1930 for the cut? Okay. And let's see. And this is a lot of reason why I don't like going out. I'm a homebody here. I'm good here. I got fast Wi-Fi. I got beer. I got food. I got a fan. I got a king-size bed. I got 2 balconies. I got a pretty decent view up here. I don't need to go out into this environment and absorb. I don't feel like I'm on the borderline though. I don't feel like I'm an empath, but I feel like I'm absorbing people's goofy ass negative energy, and I don't want it. I don't need it. I'm from San Francisco. There's enough creepy, goofy ass energy there. I don't like going out in San Francisco. It's all when you have a society that is hyper focused on money, finances. That energy's not good. Okay? Burp, 2045. And so I'm thinking, I have to convince my wife, we need to find a piece of cheap land, and there's all these houses that home these, what are they called? Small homes? Tiny homes. All these tiny homes that they're prefabbed, and you can buy them on Amazon and Home Depot. They'll just ship them out to you. Hey, I don't know how much the shipping costs. It must be fucking outrageous to get a fucking whole entire house shipped to you. Let's find 10 acres, cheap, buy a fucking tiny home, and just figure out water. Figure out food and water and electricity, solar panels, and let's live out there and get some farm animals. I want a donkey, burro. I want dogs. I want chickens. I want some goats. I'll take some llamas. I'll take what's it called, an emu. I'll take an emu as long as they're not like fighting with. I think emus are kind of aggressive. I'll do that. I knew this. I just had this. I just remembered something, a thought from my childhood. I knew I always wanted to live in a small town. I knew living where I grew up in the Bay Area, there's something wrong with this. This is not where people are happy. There's no way. We didn't evolve to be living in these metropolises with these overpopulated areas I got a room back here and I can hear the people singing and talking. We're not supposed to be living that close to people. So there's a dilemma here. And well, let's get back to the that's a thought that I need to flesh out, and a plan that I need to figure out. I mean, there's all these moving parts with that. But let's get back to the idea of my opinion of this trip. This trip might be the best trip I've ever had because of the gains in realization, enlightenment. Because I'm having these peak experiences. If you don't know what a peak experience is, I didn't know until I don't even know where or how I figured this out. But I used to call it my bliss cocktail. It started in January of 2015, and it's been happening. God, there was a gap where I didn't have one for 4 years, which is insane to me right now. This is so crazy that I didn't have one of these in 4 years. But then I reintroduced myself to this unbelievable ability that I have to tap into peak experience. And it's always, there's something I'm learning. And what I'm learning now, and the last two, one, transcendental meditation. I had this epiphany because I listened to this guy. God, I'm going to put in the description. I got to show this guy respect. Because if he did one thing for me, he did this. He told me how important transcendental meditation is, how powerful it is. And I just started doing it. I'm only doing 5 minutes. You want to get up to 20 minutes twice a day. But just like planks, you're not going to do a 2 minute and 30-second plank like I'm doing right now. I started out with 30 seconds and my body's shaking like I'm like doing this plank. You can't do 20 minutes right now. There's a learning curve to this. You got to work your way up to 20 minutes. So I realized that, and I'm a week into it now, and I'm noticing the effects of it. It's remarkable. It's very interesting what's happening here. So that's one epiphany that I had. And then the other epiphany, I'm listening to all these near-death experience stories. We're living in the age of information. We're living in the age of technology. In the past, before this age, you only heard about these experiences in your small network of people. Now all these stories are available to everybody. Listen to them. You're going to learn something. You're going to learn a universal truth. The common denominator for all these stories is, I was in this dimension. I don't know where I was. I was out of my body in this dimension. And it was the first time that I felt this incredible level of peace and love. They're all saying this. It's not all of them. 99.9% of these stories, they're all saying this exact thing. This incredible experience, this dimension where they're experiencing peace and love like they never felt before. And then when they're talking to an angel or something, when they're talking to the Creator, when they're telling, all right, we're going to send you back, they're like, wait, what? I don't want to go back there. Here. They don't want to go back to this dimension. Why would you want to come back here when you're in a dimension for the first time? You're experiencing this incredible level of peace and love for the first time. Why would you want to come back here? They're all saying this. That's the universal truth. Here's what I discovered. Our purpose in this dimension is to spread peace and love. I'm 99.99999% positive that's why we're here. And some of you are probably, and I'm a super skeptical person. I didn't even believe I had a soul until probably 5 years ago. My whole life, this is what I thought about this existence. I thought when you died, it was like somebody turning off a light switch. Blackness. That's it. You're done. I don't believe that anymore. There's no way. We're living in the age of information. There's too many people saying something different, saying that there's something else beyond this. Why would these people be lying? There's no gain in this. These people aren't getting rich. I've heard stories from some of these people talking about these NDEs. They're saying, I had a lucrative job where I was making $250,000 a year with my business. And I quit that so I could spread this word, so I could start my healing process, my cultivating my soul, my journey, and then I could tell people about this. To whoever needs to listen to this, I could spread this truth, this universal truth. There's something beyond this. I'm positive of it just because my brain is functioning on logic. This isn't like some woo shit. This is just logic. There's too many people saying this, and there isn't a logical reason for all these people to be lying. Why would they be lying? And then, on top of that, you're talking about another thing that's related to this is spirit, ghost. What's a ghost? It's just a spirit. Just a spirit. Why are all these people talking about this? And then now we're in the age of technology. Now we're getting all this good footage, pretty good footage of shit, just this fan just like jumping up in the air, like this cup just flying off a table. Why would all these people be lying about this when the only gain, the only reaction from most people is, oh, this person's insane. This person's obviously crazy. There's no benefit to this. You're not getting rich off this. Why? What do you want, this attention? This negative attention? People thinking you're crazy? And then on top of that, all these cultures are talking about this thousands of years ago. Why would they be talking about this? Why would they be talking about aliens? Thousands and thousands of years ago, there's all this evidence of aliens. There's too much proof. Bigfoot, another thing. Why all these different cultures have stories about Bigfoot? Why? And then there's people now that they're saying they're seeing Bigfoot. I think Bigfoot is a multi-dimensional being. That's what I think. But we'll get into that later. I'm going to crack open another brew. A 44 cent. That's just logic. A 44-cent beer. Low energy, low vibration activity here. Hobby I have here. We're calling this a hobby now. Okay. So this is for my wife and whoever wants to listen to this. We're documenting what we were doing in our lives in July 2025, and I suggest you do the same because your life, your experience here means something. If anything, it means something to you. You might be in some hospice care or on your deathbed, and we're living in the age of technology and information. You can get on YouTube and you can watch yourself young and look at here and see how you were thinking when you were 30 years old, when you were 40 years old, 50 years old. Do it now. Never too late. You're 50 years old, you're 60 years old. Start doing it now. You're going to want this. And then maybe somebody in your family might want this. I wish I had video of my paternal grandfather doing what I'm doing, so I could have some kind of idea of his history, his past, and how he was thinking. What did he feel? What was his experience like in his childhood? What was his experience like when he migrated? He went to New York, and then somehow he made his way over to San Francisco, and he worked this shitty job in this butcher shop or whatever the fuck. Now, because he wasn't living in the age of technology, because he wasn't living in the age of information, that's gone forever. Dust in the wind. All right, ciao. Hope you enjoy your brew. Tell us what you're drinking and wherever you are.